Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. Today is a beautiful day, but the drama in Port Charles is darker, wilder, and more twisted than ever before. We have got a massive, earth-shattering bombshell to unpack from General Hospital today, and trust me, you are going to want to sit down, grab a drink, and brace yourselves for this one. Let's get right into the absolute madness. I cannot believe they just did that. I am literally sitting here staring at my television screen with my jaw completely on the floor because what the actual heck was that episode? And yes, I am typing this furiously at 2 a.m. because I desperately need to vent to people who actually get it, people who have been in the trenches with this show for years. We need to talk about Carly, Josslyn, and Z. Because, what? Did the writers really just rewrite decades of established show history in a single scene? Jasper Jax is not Josslyn's father? Z, the head of the WSB, is her biological dad? I am losing my mind. I am pacing my living room. I feel like my entire understanding of this show, of these characters, has just been flipped upside down, shaken out, and set on fire. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just take a breath. Okay, back to the point. I've been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have gone back and watched the classic episodes, so I know Carly Spencer has pulled some absolutely wild stunts in her life. The woman is a professional secret keeper. She thrives on chaos and manipulation. Remember when she kept Michael's paternity a secret? The whole AJ Quartermain versus Sonny Corinthos disaster that ruined lives for decades? Yeah, didn't work then either. You would think she would have learned her lesson about lying about who a child's father is. You would think she'd realize that in Port Charles, the truth always comes out. But no, this is the most insane, earth-shattering, reality-altering lie she has ever told. And she has told a lot of them, but somehow this feels so much bigger because it is Josslyn. It's Josslyn who has literally built her entire identity around being a Jax. She is the moral compass, the one who always judged Sonny's mob lifestyle, the one who held onto Jax's legacy like a protective shield. So let's break down that hospital scene, because my heart was pounding out of my chest the entire time. Carly is frantic, right? She is at General Hospital, pacing the halls like a caged lion because Josslyn just got rushed in with severe gunshot wounds after that absolute bloodbath at Windermere. The lighting in that GH hallway was so stark, so cold, and Carly is just unraveling. Lucas is trying to calm her down, telling her to be patient, assuring her that the doctors have it under control, but she is a mother terrified for her cub. She is on the verge of a total breakdown. And then, she sees him. Z, the mysterious, powerful head of the WSB, played with such chilling, charismatic perfection. He just strolls into the hospital like he owns the place, exuding this terrifying aura of absolute authority. And you guys, the look on Carly's face. Laura Wright deserves an Emmy just for that single expression alone. She stood there, completely frozen, dead in her tracks. You could literally see the blood drain from her face, her eyes wide with absolute, unadulterated terror. Because looking at Z, she wasn't just seeing the man who was currently investigating her daughter's shootout. She wasn't just seeing the head of a spy agency that has been causing havoc in Port Charles. She was seeing a ghost from a fateful night years ago. A night she thought she had buried forever, under layers of lies, deceit, and a very public marriage to Jasper Jax. And this is where I started screaming at my television, because Carly realizes in that split second that Z is Josslyn's real father, not Jasper Jax. Z, the head of a global spy agency. Think about the massive, sprawling implications of this. For over 20 years, Carly has looked Jax in the eye, looked Josslyn in the eye, and lied every single day. She built this entire fake reality to protect her daughter from the truth. And honestly, part of me gets it. If I had a secret entanglement with a dangerous, powerful international spy, I'd probably lie too. I'd want my kid to have a normal life, with a billionaire businessman who could protect her and give her a stable home. But another part of me is just so furious with her. How could she do this to Jax, a man who loved that girl with his whole heart? How could she do this to Josslyn? So Carly does what Carly always does when she is backed into a corner. She goes on the offensive. She grabs Z, literally grabbing the arm of the most dangerous man in the world, and physically drags him into a secluded, shadowy corner of the hospital to confront him. And the tension, you guys, it was thick enough to cut with a knife. She is trembling, literally shaking with panic, trying to keep her voice down so nobody in the ER hears them. She demands to know what he is doing there, desperately hoping he doesn't recognize her, hoping she can just bluff her way out of this like she always does. She is trying to play the outraged mother, trying to intimidate a man who cannot be intimidated. But oh, he recognized her. Z just looks at her with this chilling, knowing smirk. He doesn't even flinch. He admits he knew exactly who she was the second he laid eyes on her in that corridor. He remembers that night just as clearly as she does. And then he drops the absolute hammer. He tells Carly that he knows all about Josslyn taking down Ross Cullum at Windermere. He knows how brave she was, how incredibly lethal she was, even while wounded and bleeding. And he looks Carly dead in the eye, leaning in close, and says that kind of instinct doesn't just come from nowhere. It doesn't come from a corporate boardroom or a life of luxury. It's the spy blood running through her veins. His blood. I screamed. I literally woke up my dog, and my neighbors probably think I am crazy. Because Z knows. He knows Josslyn is his daughter. He didn't even need a DNA test. He just saw a girl take down a highly trained WSB rogue agent and was like, yep, that's my kid. And honestly, he is not wrong. Am I the only one who always thought Josslyn had a little too much edge to just be a corporate billionaire's daughter? I mean, she has been acting like a total badass lately, getting involved in mob shootouts, saving people, and now it all makes sense. The WSB genetics are real. The girl was literally born to be a lethal operative. All those times she jumped into danger, all those times she showed zero fear when facing down mobsters or killers. It wasn't just the Spencer stubbornness. It was the Z factor. But Carly is having none of it. She is in full mama bear mode, vehemently denying it, lying through her teeth even when the truth is staring her right in the face. She demands that Z leave Port Charles immediately. She tells him to pack up his little spy gadgets, take his WSB agents, and get out of our lives, because she will not let him drag Josslyn into his dangerous, shadowy world. She is begging, she is threatening, she is doing everything she can to protect the peaceful, normal life she built for her daughter. She tells him Josslyn is a Jax, that she belongs in the light, not in the dark underworld of international espionage. Except, let's be real, since when has Josslyn's life ever been peaceful or normal? She's a Spencer! She grew up in sunny Corinthos' house. She has been surrounded by mob violence, shootouts, and kidnappings her entire life. She just got shot fighting a rogue agent in a castle, for crying out loud. Carly's argument is completely falling apart, and Z knows it. He just gives her this dark, menacing smile and casually declares that he never, ever walks away from what belongs to him. He says it with such terrifying calmness. He tells Carly that he won't abandon an heir as talented and promising as Josslyn. He wants her in the WSB. He wants her by his side, learning the family business, embracing her true potential. And then, the soap trope to end all soap tropes happens, but I don't even care because it was executed as so perfectly. We cut to Josslyn's hospital room. She is supposed to be resting, recovering from a literal gunshot wound. She's pale, she's in pain, she's hooked up to IVs, but she's awake, and she wanders out into the hallway, probably looking for Lucas or her mom. And she hears them. She stands right behind that corner and hears the entire argument. She hears every single devastating word. My heart broke. It literally shattered into a million pieces for this girl. Eden McCoy was phenomenal in this moment. You just watch her standing there, leaning weakly against the hospital wall, listening to her mother frantically beg the head of the WSB to leave her biological daughter alone. Josslyn hears Carly admit that Jax was just a cover. A lie. A convenient shield to hide the truth from the world and from Josslyn herself. You can see the exact moment her entire world crumbles. Imagine being Josslyn right now. Your whole life, you have idolized your father. Jasper Jax was her rock, her safe space, away from the mob violence of Sunny's world. She proudly carried the Jax name like a badge of honor. She used it to separate herself from the criminal elements of Port Charles, to prove she was better than the mob life. And in the span of a 3-minute overheard conversation in a sterile hospital corridor, all of it is ripped away. Her dad isn't her dad. Her mom is a massive liar who has been gaslighting her since the day she was born. And her real father is the head of a global spy syndicate who wants to recruit her into a world of espionage and murder. I am sorry, but I cannot defend Carly here. I know some people are loving this protective mother angle, and I know the Carly defenders are going to be out in full force on the forums tomorrow, making excuses for why she had to lie to protect her baby. But personally, this is unforgivable. You do not lie to your child about their parentage for 2 decades. You just don't. You don't let a man raise a child thinking it's his when you know the truth. And Josslyn's reaction is exactly what it should be. Pure, unadulterated devastation and betrayal. Carly has crossed a line that I don't think she can ever come back from. When Josslyn steps out of the shadows and confronts them, wow. The look of sheer horror on Carly's face, when she realizes her daughter heard everything, is burned into my brain. Josslyn doesn't even yell at first. She is just cold. Ice cold. She looks at Carly like she is a complete stranger. The fracture in their mother-daughter relationship was so loud you could practically hear it snap in the room. Carly tries to reach for her, tries to explain, tries to give her the classic "I did it to protect you" speech that she always gives when she gets caught in a massive lie. But Josslyn isn't having it. She swats Carly's hand away like it's toxic. And this is the part that has me both terrified and completely obsessed with where this storyline is going. Josslyn doesn't run away crying. She doesn't collapse into her mother's arms seeking comfort. She turns to Z. She looks at this man, her real father, this powerful, dangerous spy, and she doesn't flinch. Because she feels so deeply betrayed by Carly, she is incredibly vulnerable right now. Her entire foundation has crumbled, and Z is a master manipulator. He steps right in, offering her exactly what she needs in that moment of freefall: validation and a new identity. Z promises Josslyn that he won't lie to her. He promises to show her who she really is, to show her the true power of her bloodline. He is offering her a place in the WSB, a place where her lethal instincts and bravery aren't something to be hidden, feared, or apologized for, but celebrated and utilized. He tells her she doesn't have to pretend to be a normal girl anymore. And Josslyn, fueled by her absolute fury at Carly and the adrenaline of everything she's just been through, looks like she is absolutely ready to take his hand and walk straight into the darkness. I am dreading this, but I am also SO here for it. Are we about to get dark, Josslyn? Agent Josslyn? Is she gonna leave Port Charles and go train at a WSB academy in Geneva? I mean, think of the story potential, but also, think of the absolute chaos this is gonna cause across the entire canvas. What happens when Jax finds out? He is going to lose his mind. He raised her. He loved her. And Sonny? Sonny is going to blow a gasket when he realizes the head of the WSB, the organization that has been tormenting his family and locking up Jason, is his stepdaughter's bio dad. The mob versus the WSB war is going to reach apocalyptic levels. And what about Dex? How does Josslyn's love life survive this? If she embraces her WSB roots, she is going to become a completely different person. We are watching the origin story of a super spy right before our eyes, born from the ashes of a mother's lies. I know I'm rambling, but there are just so many moving parts now. The Windermere hostage situation, the Cold Fusion storyline, it all feels like it was just a massive setup for this monumental character pivot for Josslyn. They have been teasing her darker, more aggressive side for months, and now we know why. It's the genetics. It's the Z factor. But seriously, Carly is going to have to do the apology tour of the century. Losing Josslyn to a spy agency because of her own lies? That might be the thing that finally breaks Carly Spencer for good. Okay, I need to go drink some water and process this because my brain is completely fried. Let me know what you guys think, because I cannot be the only one screaming at my TV right now. Do you think Josslyn will actually join the WSB? Will Carly ever get her daughter back? Sound off in the comments.